Welcome back to A Faster Me. This is the Major Motion King and Queen of Crit, women's 3, 4, 5, and the juniors 13 to 18. I think there was maybe 4 or 5 juniors in the field.
A lot of juniors. I think there was a lot of juniors in the field. No?
No, only a handful. There may have been more, but they were registered as, 3, 4, 5s.
Yeah.
And mentally, I think I just wasn't really prepared to race today that much. We're definitely focused on the P123 field.
Yeah, and we apologize for the camera too. Obviously, you can see it's pretty moist out there, but there's actually more water on the camera than there is on the day. We saw Summer's video, and hers is pretty clear. So there's actually water that collected on the camera, but it's not actually that bad out there on the course, and it's not currently raining. It's just very heavy mist.
Yeah, so, I think everything was just thrown off a little bit. We got there early. The bathrooms got there just right before the race. So glad to have everything taken care of. And we were able to start on time. The course is really fast, wide open. I like it. Not very technical, so you can take almost whatever line you want. So it seemed like there was a wide variety of lines that people were taking through some of the turns.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to speak too much on turns. You guys know by now that I speak on it a lot, but yeah, it's a wide course, so it does open itself up to various lines. I still think there are some proper lines and lines that could be taken better, but overall, it's a very good group. It's a huge field. I don't know exactly how many riders. Looks like maybe
29.
30. Okay, 29 riders. So yeah, definitely a big field, and everyone did a good job, especially like some of the riders that ended up falling off and were lapped. They did a good job of kind of staying to the side, stuff like that.
The race was pretty fast the whole time. There wasn't any real lulls. It seemed like there was attacks. The mommies had a few riders out there, and they did their job of attacking and running interference. But a lot of people were very active, and the race was never that slow.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a number of fast riders out there. And there's a pretty diverse field of, some brand new riders in their first race, some more experienced riders. And that's what you get kind of when you have the 3, 4, 5 field, and especially mixed with juniors as well. So yeah, it made it for a pretty dynamic race, pretty fast. And honestly, a lot more girls were able to stay with the main group than I kind of expected from the beginning. It was a pretty big group that was able to run that pace.
People are training hard and showing up to race.
Yeah, and I think overall, like, I know you said like you kind of just weren't there, but I think overall, it wasn't that bad. I think you did a decent job overall. Just kind of some bad habits of like not drafting and stuff like that. But other than that, it was a good race. I know. I think I see Erica up there to the left. She had another good race. So that's her second race, if I'm not mistaken. She's had 2 good races in a row. She's kind of hit me up about, hey, when's that video coming out? And we just been busy with a lot of stuff and trying to get to Valley of the Sun next week. So our schedules have been a little off, just trying to make sure we have everything taken care of. And Ellen's been kind of getting home late a little bit. So.
And there you could just see us all spread out throughout that corner with, a lot of different lines. There goes a,
and Erica there up the front.
An attack or just an acceleration off the left side, and I'm doing 400 watts. The speed just went from 22 to 25 really quickly. There was a little bit of a headwind up the front straight.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of wind on the day, but yeah, so after turn 2, there's a little bit of a side crosswind, And then like early in the day, there was like a side headwind on the front straight. So yeah, definitely getting some, you know, some good efforts to get the speed up on the front straight just into that headwind
I
or crosswind.
I found myself lacking focus. I'd try to get behind a rider whose wheel I knew, and then suddenly I'd find myself, somewhere else. There's Holly to the left, so
Yeah, Holly's doing a good job. She's gonna guest ride for us over at Valley of the Sun. Um, so yeah, another strong rider. This is actually a pretty strong field. Like I said, for the diversity that you have in the field, it's a pretty strong field. You see Kat or Lily over there to the left as well in the Ironfly kit. Like I said, a couple mommies out here that are really fast riders. So yeah, I think don't sleep on this field. Basically, they had some pretty good speed going. I think they averaged over 23 miles per hour. And I think the women's pro was only 1 mile per hour faster, 24, mid 24s, and they were kind of mid to high 23s in this race. And that's kind of partly the course design is like really fast, not too technical. So there's really no reason for the speed to slow down. Yeah, it was also a good turnout with they had all clubs this week as well. So there was a lot of riders out from out of state. Very good turnout. They had a little bit, like Ellen was saying, had a little slow start to the day just with setup, but sometimes that happens. This is only the second time Major Motion has hosted a race. Well, at least in recent years. So yeah, there's always going to be some logistical things that don't exactly line up. But this is the first race of the day, so it was a little bit tough on the girls. But I think now we're rolling and everything's good. And yeah, we love this race, and hopefully it can go on for many years.
this is a course that I think a lot of local people are pretty familiar with. I think there's, a practice or a ride that is maybe weekly here. So this is only my second time doing the course, but I heard a number of riders talking about, hey, we all know the course, we're familiar with it.
Yeah.
And they did a great job cleaning it up. People were out with brooms sweeping, and I think the course is in good condition. Nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing major on it. Like the road's not too beat up or anything either. And I think it's the Hughes Parkway crit practice or that they do on weeknights during the springtime when the days get a little bit longer. I think that may have been April too, over to the left.
Yeah, it's nice to see friendly faces out racing.
Yeah, and there's Erica there in front of Ellen with the 809 number. We rode with Erica today on Montrose. We're getting this video out a little bit late, so rode with Erica and her team today on Montrose, just getting some leg warmers in for the Roger Milliken race. And shout out to the girls from Monarch also. I think they raced pretty well. It was my first time seeing them out here at one of our local races, but it's like I said, it's always good to see more women in the race, and this was a very big field.
Possibly even larger than the women's pro field.
I think
If
they're
not
about the same
close.
size. They're pretty close. Both had
Pretty
about
good
30,
showing.
30 plus riders in it. So-
Yeah, a handful of the riders did both races. I think that's Emmy in front of me.
Yeah, and I think the rider in the gold might be one of our out-of-state riders that come down for the all clubs and just to support Major Motion, on their crit. Yeah, just keep wanting to wipe the camera because I know the day is a little clearer than what the camera's showing. I just want to wipe it.
Yeah, it was misting a little bit before the race, but nothing like what it shows. I was trying to draft a little bit better, but I wanted to stay towards the front of the race, and I continuously found myself kind of just getting shuffled back. The rider to the right of Holly there in the like white and blue kit. I found myself behind her a number of times, really strong, willing to do the work to chase some things down. Not sure who she is.
Yeah, hopefully we get a chance to see her number shortly. But yeah, she's really strong. I want to say she raced P123 as well, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's Shawnee there that just went up to another strong rider.
Yeah, I was doing way too much surging out of some of the corners instead of, I think, taking them as smooth as I would like to.
Yeah, and I think on that last one you lost a little spots that you didn't have to. You're in a decent position, and then when the acceleration came, you just kind of didn't accelerate, you know? I don't know if you were already gassed at that point or not. Your heart rate doesn't seem too high.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah, but it seemed like you just faded back a little bit there. But you're back on it now and, you know, kind of tucked in there. I think Kat or Lily, I'm not sure what she prefers to go by, but I think she was kind of quiet this race. She had a good finish, but I think overall she was maybe a little more quiet than I thought she was going to be.
Well, the mommies were doing the attacking for everybody, I think.
Yeah, and just, you know, rolling turns up there. I think Courtney ends up getting off the front. And, you know, Jessica and Maria were kind of, you know, running interference and slowing it down. So definitely good tactics. You know, they've been doing it for a long time, so they know how to do that. And I think sometimes just, you know, it takes people a while to realize, like, hey, I got to go around, got to chase, got to get on it early. And then, of course, if you don't have other experienced riders to know, you know, how to combat those tactics, it's never easy, but it makes your job a little bit easier if people aren't really aware of like what to do in those situations and willing to sacrifice themselves.
And it's real important to stay in good position to see those moves happening or be able to go with them, react instead of, you know, coming from the back. There's a lot of effort that's done when you try to go from the back to the front, and then to get back into good position takes a lot of micro surges, a lot of effort instead of just staying in good position, which, you know.
And also a lot of people are not willing to sacrifice. You know, a lot of people everybody's trying to come in a high position for themselves. So a lot of people are not willing to sacrifice and try to put in the effort to chase that down or to chase anything down. Most people want to save their energy and kind of have a high position, high finish.
I don't have any teammates in this race either, so that's another thing, I think, just coming in with a little bit of a lack of focus.
Yeah, I think Ellen and I are in our retirement stage. We race, you know, we like to be, you know, be competitive and just kind of be fit still and stuff like that. But, you know, Ellen likes to race with teammates and have kind of like a purpose. I'm only racing just to stay fit and everything and just to keep a little bit of competitiveness. I really enjoy, like, more so building and running the team. So, yeah, we're out here having fun, and when we have a purpose, it gets a little better. But, yeah, when you're riding solo, you're just out there for yourself.
So here I'm going to try to, I was thinking I'm going to try to bridge, but I see another girl going at the same time, and I'm going to, yeah, jump right on her. And I was trying to organize a little group of, hey, let's go, you know, chase whoever's up the road. It might have been a Maria up the road at this time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think bridging would have been the right move. It's just bad timing that the other rider was going at the same time. So yeah, I think if you were able to bridge, that would have been good, and just, you know, work with Maria and both of you guys just get off the front there.
Yeah. Might have been nice even two riders, but I think there's a group right now with us.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, bridging's not easy either. Unless you nuke it and get that separation, yeah, people are definitely going to jump on your wheel. And if they do, that's fine. Just flick an elbow and hopefully they come through. But Like I was saying in a lot of races on some of the other videos, is people like to let someone pull until that person's tired, and that's not effective. You really have to rotate faster and keep the speed going like through laps.
And here it just slowed down way too much. So instead of us continuing, like you're talking about, of doing that work, it slowed down to 22 miles an hour, and then we're all bunched up again instead of continuing to put the effort in. And now someone's going hard again, but the surging is not as efficient. I think you've talked about it before, of just maintaining a higher speed instead of the
Well,
the
yeah.
attacks versus.
Yeah, and that's why you do short pulls, because as an individual that's still looking for a high finish, you don't have to blow yourself up. You just contribute, do a shorter pull, 10 seconds or so. Do your pull, the next person does 10 seconds, and you guys can stay fresher instead of letting someone chase for 2 minutes or a minute or one whole lap. That's just going to blow them up. But if you just do a 10-second pull, rotate 10 seconds, it keeps everyone fresher. You're not like completely sacrificing yourself for someone else to win. You guys are all just saying, hey, we have a common goal right now to bring this rider back, or we're all racing for second anyway. Yeah, the rider that you're talking about definitely is strong. She's been putting in some good efforts. Still haven't seen her number yet, though.
Yeah, I found myself behind her quite a lot, and she's a little bit smaller, so I did not have as much of a draft benefit as I would have liked.
Yeah, she actually has. There's a couple girls with that same riding style that she has. Like, they weave a little bit. It's not like it's reckless or anything, but you can see she doesn't ride in an exact straight line. And sometimes that's like cadence related. Sometimes it's bike fit related, like seat too high, seat too low kind of deal. But yeah, you can see like there's a little weave going on, and sometimes it just makes it a little bit unsettling if you're following someone's wheel like that.
Especially if you're not familiar with the rider, and but here she's going again. But I was a little bit indecisive. Instead of going with her, I hesitated and was debating, should I try to just jump back in and get protected from the wind. But that split second of indecision can be a big difference of a number of positions, or
Yeah, definitely.
or
I
a
mean,
big
if
effort.
if you hesitate, it just really just, if you're gonna go, it just makes a bigger effort for you. For me, it's like if I see it and I hesitate and I miss it, okay, oh well, I just missed it. If you stay on it, you just always have to be ready to accelerate. In crit races, for sure, you always have to be ready to accelerate. It's one reason why I preach a little bit higher cadence to people. You don't want to get bogged down in a gear where you have to use so much power to accelerate. I like to have it, roughly around a 90-ish cadence, and something that you could spin up into the hundreds, with relative ease to be able to match accelerations.
I'm not sure who that rider is that just came on the inside, but she had a number of pretty strong attacks.
Yeah, so people are going pretty hard. It's just not a coordinated effort. But they are putting in efforts. It's just, like I said, it's short-lived if you just let one person go until they burn out. That's just never going to work, really. And it's okay to communicate. It's okay to tell people to rotate, or, hey, let's work together, short pulls, 10 seconds each, 20 seconds each, 30 seconds, whatever you want to do. It's okay to communicate that. It doesn't have to be perfect. And of course, if you have teammates, hey, you got to get with your teammates and, hopefully be able to do something. You see Jessica coming up to kind of run her, take her turn at running interference here. She's just going to try to sit, second, third wheel, whatever, to try to not let too much of an effort get coordinated and be able to run down her teammate. But it looks like definitely there's, plenty of strong girls in the field, or strong riders in the field.
Yeah, doing another pretty hard effort. but it is a little frustrating to watch. I just want to kind of guide myself to tuck back in and get in the draft instead of riding off a little bit to the side.
And there goes Maria covering that rider that's trying to bridge up there. But Ellen, same thing like we just talked about. Ellen was so late reacting. Like Maria came through really smooth by her, and she could have easily jumped on her wheel. But she waited until Maria started sprinting or accelerating for her to accelerate, and then she's like basically not in the draft and having to do a 600-700 watt effort, 600 plus watt effort.
And here, instead of just getting in the draft, what do? Drift out to the side. And there goes another, effort, which is a great job by the field. I think a number of riders had real good intention trying to do some work, but like we've mentioned, not real coordinated, and it's hard to bring something back if it's not coordinated. It's just individuals kind of burning themselves out.
Right, and you want it smooth. You don't want to have to sprint. As you can see, Ellen did like a 600 watt effort a minute ago, but her highest power of the day is only 668. You don't want to sprint like that. You're just not going to be able to do those efforts for any sustained period of time. So, it's wasted energy if you try to accelerate and sprint as hard as you can for 10 seconds. You're not going to catch the person in 10 seconds. So, yeah, it's a lot better to have lower watts and more of a sustained effort.
And here we're down to 20 miles per hour. So most likely there's going to be another hard surge.
Well, this is what happened. And when you're down to 20 miles per hour and there's someone off the front, that's just giving them a bigger time gap. So when you surge for that little 5, 10, 20 seconds and then shut it down to a really low speed, that person's just getting further away.
And I'm sure those hard efforts are another reason why I find myself shuffled to the back. Just being a little bit tired, it's then harder to go with the next effort. But that's how you recover also with a little bit of draft.
I don't know if this is 940 something in front of you or 840 something. What number do you guys have? 8s or 9?
Eights.
So 840 something.
There's no 840 something that I can see.
Maybe that's not a 4 then that I'm looking at. So yeah, you guys are down to 19 miles per hour a second ago. So definitely the time gap on the front is getting bigger. You see both mommies are up front. Jessica and Maria are up front, just kind of slowing the pace down a little. So yeah, I think we're down to 3 laps to go now. Maybe 2 laps to go. Yeah, I think it's at 3 laps to go on the lap counter.
You said how many to go?
I think 3 laps to go. This is going into 3 laps.
Yeah, I wish I could see the number in front of me because, as you see, I'm behind her again doing a pretty good effort.
Yeah, she's definitely a really strong rider. She's been putting in a pretty good effort like majority of the race.
So here, just stay in this position. This is a good position to be in. Third wheel.
Yeah, but again, you guys just got to rotate faster. Instead of just one person, kind of setting the pace. Got to rotate faster.
And there goes the field up on the left side. Just real quick, you can go from third to 15th wheel.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Courtney's out of sight now. I'm sure she has a big gap. I can't remember exactly what her time gap was, but I think it was pretty big. So she really has no threat of being caught in these last 2 laps. You're on the wrong side. We can't see the number. Yeah, so pretty much now you know you're sprinting for second. Like it's going to be a bunch sprint going in for second now.
And I know Maria was a good wheel to be on because I knew she'd be contending for the sprint finish.
Yeah, so we're going in, what is this, 2 laps to go now? Did we already, yeah, already passed the fast start finish line, so 2 laps to go. Pretty sure it's 2 laps, maybe it's 1 lap, but I think it's 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I think so based on the time.
Yeah, definitely could be a little closer here. I don't think you did too bad of drafting, just kind of not really assertive in this race.
Not assertive and not decisive.
Yeah, like right here, there's no purpose like to why you're where you're at. Kind of just eating a lot of wind there. I'm not sure. Was that Cassidy? Yeah, Cassidy went by up the inside. It's good for somebody to come through and get the pace up high. Just keeps it kind of a little safer, strung out a little bit more. I think that's Tamia in front of you there. So yeah, now hitting the front straight, coming into the last lap. Obviously, it's critical at these last couple laps that you don't want to get shuffled back too much, not lose any positions here. So you're trying to move up to the front here. I think this is one of the things here. I wish you would have tucked in more. I remember when that young lady took off, I was like, don't chase her. You know, she's not going to make it. At that intensity level, I didn't think she was going to make it on a 2-minute effort. Let other people chase it and then you slot in. But I think you just lose too many positions right here.
Yeah, again, just a little lack of focus. I'm floating a little bit instead of being purposeful. I'm just, yeah, I think floating's kind of a good word. So it's not awful, but I think for what I'm capable of, I should be being a little bit more precise with the experience that I have.
Right, definitely can be, I mean, like you said, if you want to, you definitely can contest this bunch sprint here. And I shouldn't say want to if you commit to it. You're not in too bad a position here, and like you said, you're moving up a little bit here. I think you just need to be a little more assertive here and go ahead and accelerate and move up. There's only 2 turns to go, so you definitely don't want to get boxed in or shuffled back here. And just being a little passive here, you kind of, now, like right now, you're like out of position now. Everyone else has, can dictate where you're going to be. You can't dictate your own destiny now. So yeah, I think you had that little window to move up, and it would have been a lot better just going from the front there.
And then because I'm out of position, I skidded a little on the paint line, and then
not here on the finish, right? Yeah.
On the finish, and then I wasn't gonna weave in between too many people. It wasn't worth it to pass, try to pass 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, when you're back this far, there's like, yeah, you're just back far now. So
yes,
there's the paint line, I think, right there. But
yeah, I do a little, so I kind of just sit down and cruise in.
Yeah. But yeah, when you start back from them like that, it's kind of hard to pass that many people anyway. But yeah, that's the video. So
thanks for tuning in. See ya at Roger Milliken.